discussion from where we, let's say, we had the installation part. After that, we had just discussed about some of the command to run the Playwright scenarios. So from there, we will continue with our discussion, and within next few minutes, we'll be starting with the JavaScript coding part. That is basics of JS actually. Okay. But yes, at the Playwright level, you should be you should be able to download, configure, and run the Playwright command, which we had discussed in the Friday sessions, guys. If anybody is facing any challenge issues with respect to that, highlight it, or else we'll move to the JavaScript basics. We'll get started in next 1 minute, guys. Okay, so let's get started, guys. I'll share my screen. Uh, Thank you once again, everyone, for joining demo 2 session. I hope everyone can see my screen. If anyone is facing any issues with respect to screen or let's say voice, please you can unmute and speak up. Okay. So last day, guys, I hope those who have attended the session or let's say those who went through the recording, I believe everyone are clear with the installation setup, what we did for Playwright. Okay, so just to find a quick recap, we had created the folder Playwright May 2025, which is a normal folder you can create in any C drive, D drive, wherever you feel. Okay, after that, we have triggered some of the command in the terminal area, but the condition is you should be on that respective folder where you need to configure your Playwright. Okay. After that, you can see that we got the node underscore module folder, which is, I believe, I hope everyone has got the clarity. Then we have got the test folder, test example, .git ignore folder, package.json, package.json, and playwright.config.js. Okay. So just to kind of quickly a recap what we have done so far. So if you remember, after this command which we have written over here, we have triggered this command, and at the end with this command you were able to configure all the changes into your local machine. Okay. So guys, at that time, I have not given you the explanation that whenever we install Playwright for the very first time, you will have some example inbuilt which is provided by Playwright for our reference purpose, guys. Okay. So this is the standard folder structure which you can see right now. Okay. Now modification to this folder is completely on you, how you need to have it. But yeah, whenever we install or play, we will do for the very first time, guys, the folder structures and everything will be in this fashion. Okay. So now each folder, like I'll try to explain so that everyone are on same page. Okay. Please feel free to guys unmute and speak up if you got any query, any questions, anything you want to highlight it. Okay. So today I'll start with folder structure and then we'll move to like Playwright command, and after that we'll move to the JS basics, guys. Okay. Just a second. Okay, no worries. We'll try to fix this after the session. Akash, that's fine. So guys, if you notice carefully, this is the folder structure, and please remember guys, you can uh, add more project to this and create this as a workspace as well. Okay, right now I'm not doing that. So if you guys see this options, okay, it is asking that, hey, add folder to workspace. So you will be able to create more folder over here where you will have, let's say, separate project, let's say 3 or 4 project at the same time in the single workspace. Okay, it is possible, guys. There is no such you can say rule that you will have only one project. Okay, you can have multiple project in a single workspace. Okay, so right now I have one project in my workspace. Okay, so the very first thing what you can see over here is nothing but the node underscore module. Okay, and during our initial discussion, guys, I already mentioned that Playwright itself is a node package. Okay, so whenever we install or configure Playwright for the very first time, guys, it is nothing but all the coding whatever you can see for Playwright which is available on the GitHub. Okay, it is purely done with the help of TS and JS. Okay, so that's the reason node module folder, if you notice, there are a lot of dependencies which are getting added by default whenever we install Playwright, guys. So everyone can see that we have Playwright, and second we have Playwright -core. Okay, after that you can see @type @playwright, which is nothing but you can consider all the major dependency which is required for the initial assertion process, for browser invoking, for page creation, for context creations. For all those process we will have this particular dependencies which got added default, which got added by default inside node underscore module. Okay, so please remember in the git ignore folder you will see this particular file or this particular folder under the node module, because the thing is you are not supposed to upload these changes over the GitHub repository. Okay, next folder we have, guys, test folder. Okay, so if you notice what is test folder, guys, test folder by the name itself, it is suggesting that all the test cases which we are going to discuss in future will be available inside the test folder. Okay, all the test cases which we are going to see, okay, we are, let's say, whether it is API, whether it is UI logic. Okay, so all those test case will be directly going inside a single folder, which is nothing but the test folder. Okay, under this folder. And guys, you have the flexibility to create internally as many as folder you want. Okay, internally if you think, no, I want to create one separate folder of API, one separate folder of UI, one separate folder of, let's say, performance. Okay, so it is flexible for you to kind of create major like all the folders inside this particular folder itself. Okay, so whenever we are triggering our command called as npx playwright test, if you have noticed, right, on that day when we are running our spec file, okay, so basically what happens is Playwright is directly finding the test folder, and inside test folder as many specs file, that is .js file, which are present, it will try to execute all the file, guys. Okay, even if you have created 3 folder, 4 folder, but unless and until it is present in test, it will get executed for sure. Okay. Next is test example, guys. So test example, by the name itself, you can understand that it is nothing but it is providing you some of the sample example which you can refer for your reference purpose. Okay. Refer this for reference purpose. So when I say reference purpose, basically you will see some of the let's say context in terms of how you need to write your test case and everything. Okay. How to write test, how to write import statement at the very beginning, how to write all the syntax what we have for invoking the UI sections, like what is async, what is await command. All this logic are given in those two sample example. Like in this, guys, if you notice carefully, you have test example, and in this test example you have the code, guys. This is the code, guys. This code we have not written, guys. This code is written by the Playwright installation setup. Once we did the Playwright, right, after that you can see that this code is kind of showing up, and this is the demo website which is hosted by the Playwright itself, which is the practice website which is available open source. Okay. And on this you guys will have some sort of activity with respect to let's say you can perform some of the activity, and accordingly you can perform some scenarios, guys. Okay, that's the whole purpose of this. Next is, guys, git ignore. I hope everyone has the clarity on git ignore. If not, I'll explain you again. So guys, .git ignore is a file which is responsible for pushing your changes from local machine to the Git repository. Okay. So pushing your changes. So when we add something, okay, inside the git ignore, so what happens is that particular folder or that particular path which is present in the Git repository will not get uploaded over the Git repo. Okay, so when I say this test result, Playwright report, blob report, Playwright slash Playwright, so all this folder, subfolder, guys, when we try to push the changes from local machine to the repository, all this folder will be getting ignored. Okay, that's the reason we have written, like we have this detail inside dot git ignore. In tomorrow's situation, if we have few more folder which you think, let's say, not should it should not get uploaded over the git, you can add it over here. Okay. Next is package log.json. We are not touching this. This is nothing but it will by default create its own dependencies into this particular file. So whenever we install any third-party dependency, automatically some code will be getting added in this fashion. Okay. And it will keep on changing, guys, unless and until you keep on updating, or let's say installing your Maven, sorry, npm dependency to the particular project. Okay. Then we have, guys, package.json, guys. Okay. So package.json is very important, guys. Please remember, package.json will give you the understanding how many package you have installed so far. Okay. How many package you have installed so far. So when I say package, guys, please remember the dependency which you have installed so far into your project. Okay. So if you notice carefully, package.json, we have two dependency right now, which has been installed, configured, and it is present inside dev dependency section. Okay. So when you try to add few more dependency in future, guys, okay, it will keep on adding the list over here, or else it will create one more attribute called as dependency. Under that, it will get added. Okay. So please remember, I would like to highlight one thing. Whenever you refer any project over the Git repo or over the internet or over the let's say somebody is providing you the link to you. So the very first file, or the very first, let's say the file which you are looking for, guys, or which you should look for, is nothing but package.json. So by looking at package.json, you will have the clarity that what all different test case will be available in this particular project. Why? Because if you don't see a lot of dependency, then you can ignore, like you can have like the project is simple and straightforward. But if you see, let's say 20 or 25 dependency which are present in this particular file, then guys you need to like be ready with understanding all the codes, the linking, the dependencies, how this particular dependencies has been used and other stuff, guys. Okay, any query, questions, anything you want to highlight before I move to the last one, which is very important, guys? Anybody wants to add anything, guys? You can unmute and speak up, guys. Yes. Okay, so I'm considering as no. I hope everyone are clear. So moving on to the last file, guys, which is playwright.config.js. So I told last time, right? It is very important file, so it will take some time to kind of explain. So please remember, guys, playwright.config.js is the, you can consider like heart of your project basically. Okay, heart of your project. When I say, guys, if there is any deviations of, if there is any change in your playwright.config.js, guys, please remember your project will not get executed. You need to be very sure that whatever changes you are doing at a project level, it is done via playwright.config.js. Okay, please keep this in mind. So ideally, till now, I have not added anything so far into the config.js file. Whatever you can see right now, the code in my this particular file, it has been generated, created automatically once you create the project. Okay, clear everyone? Understood? Now, guys, if you notice carefully, this statement is saying that in import define config device from Playwright test, and after that you can see that we are having one link, guys. I'll explain you this link also, very important. And after that, guys, you can see that the directory part from where your execution should get started. So over here itself, it is saying that all the test case will be by default present inside .test. So that's the reason I said just now, if you update this folder to some other name, guys, that folder will have got, like that folder will get the importance. Okay. Fully parallel through forbid only process.env.ci. So guys, over here you can see in green color, whatever you can see, right? That is called as the comment. Okay. So right now we have two types of comment usually in all the programming language. This is called a single line comment, guys, and this is called as the multi-line comment. Okay, please remember single line comment and the multi-line comment. Now here, if you notice, fully parallel is equal to true, forbid only process.env.ci. So we will have an env file, guys. In the later session, we will discuss about that. How many retry you should do once the test case got failed? What is the reporter which you want, like in which format the report should get generated? So over here, whatever you can see in the brown color, guys, this many reports right now Playwright is supporting by default. Like before using any third party, guys. Okay, so over here you can see that we can define the base URL, we can define the trace is nothing but, if you notice, we will have something called as a high level, let's say, if there is any assertion issue, if there is any locator issue, so we can generate the trace viewer, guys. Okay, after that you can see the logic of how many folder, sorry, browser you want to have it for the purpose of running your test case in separate browser. So you can comment as of now, later on we will touch base this, you can run on mobile as well. Okay, so these are the configurations which are by default available by Playwright. Okay, now I'll show you the link, guys. So everybody are with me, guys. Anybody has any confusion, doubt? I would request, guys, you can unmute and interrupt in between, so that everybody should be on the same page, guys. Okay, perfect. Okay, so guys, this is the official page of, you can consider like the configuration, and whatever configuration is, let's say, missing in this particular file, we can add slowly and gradually inside, or let's say after line number 15, which is export default define config. Okay, so please remember, guys, all the respective configuration, you will see everything will be a keyword, guys. You don't need to worry. As soon as you write something, it will show you the auto suggestions, and automatically you need to decide whether this is a part of your project or not, or you need to add into your project or not. So over here, guys, when you see the official website, okay, so all these keywords, I hope everyone can see, right? All these keywords are nothing but you can add if required. You can, if you want, you can remove. If you want, you can keep that in the commented area. So all this, guys, is nothing but the part of your configuration. Okay, later we will keep on modifying the configuration section, but right now whatever is being shown to you guys, this is the default configuration which is available in the Playwright. Any questions, any doubt, anything you want to highlight before I move to the other topic, guys?
Hi, sir. Am I audible?
Go ahead, please.
Yeah. So in the parallel execution, do we Playwright will launch the different browsers, or in
At
the
the
same browser it will execute with the different tabs?
Yeah, so it will, let's say, if you have defined how many let's say projects over here, right? So you have defined 3 projects, correct? And you are saying that fully parallel through, right? So what happens is it will execute all the test case at the same time in 3 browser, which is mentioned over here. Okay, it will not go one after another. Okay, that's the logic of fully parallel. Okay, if you have defined 7 browsers over here, 7 different let's say devices, okay, so it would
Mhm.
have invoked those 7 devices at the same time. Obviously, if you write headed, you will see that particular getting open as well. If you don't write headed, in the headless mode, all those will get invoked automatically.
So if I mention only one, like Chromium, so in that case only one worker with uh,
All the
all the
test
test
cases
cases will
will
be
get
executing in the
executed
same
with
browser.
one
Okay.
worker. So there is no
Okay.
point of fully parallel equal to.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Any doubt, query, questions? Anything you want to highlight?
So is there any option to run multiple tests in parallel? Like if I have like under my test folder 20 tests, right? I want to run 4 tests in parallel. Can I
That's
Mhm.
not?
that's that's as I was about to tell. Actually, the parallel indicates it's a parallel execution of your test cases.
Right.
It might be single browser or multiple browser, doesn't matter. But if you have 20 test cases, all those will be run in parallel mode.
So all 20 will run at one time.
All
Yes,
20 will
parallel.
invoke same time. Okay.
Oh,
The
invoke it.
timing, the execution end time will be different, obviously. Okay. But yeah, they will get invoked at the same time for sure. Okay. So we will
If
get that detail in the report.
if I don't want all tests to be invoked at the same time, can I do some
Make
limitation? Like I want only out of my 20, I want only 4 to go at one time. Once out of 4, one is done, then it can pick up the next one. So I want that like that kind of thing. Can I?
so that customization will be possible. Okay,
Okay.
depending on how many test case you want to invoke. and but your browser instance and those needs to be set up. Okay, and based on that only your configuration logic, let's say you have defined 4 tests at the same time, and after that move to the next 4 or 3, whatever it is, right? That
Okay.
number we will provide in the configuration section
Section.
in this particular file only. Okay,
Okay.
so you guys can see that we have one more section actually wherein you will define some more parameter with respect to the configuration, which is nothing but the env file guys. Okay, so I'll discuss about this in the coming session. What is env file, how we are using it, and with this particular file what all things we are able to achieve in terms of playwright configuration part.
Okay. So where are we defining the headless and here like
Hmm.
headless mode?
Thing. One is I told that we have the package JSON where guys please remember you have the script area. Okay, so in the script area you guys please define your command actually. Okay, and once you have defined the command guys, after that give some value to that. So basically this is the value guys, this name whatever is you can see, right? This is by you. Okay, you can define whatever name you want. Now over here I'll put comma. Okay, and I'll say that run test headless. Okay, so I'm just giving you an example guys, don't consider this as, let's say. Okay, and over here I'll say npx playwright test hyphen headed headless. Okay, so here I am saying headed. So now this command, the second command which is present right now on my screen, right? If I hover my mouse and click on run script, right, it will start running the logic in the headed mode. Okay, so likewise this script section might have around 15-20 you can say commands. Okay,
Comments.
some different name. As per your requirement you will keep on executing, keep on running.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, so guys in the demo session, like in the previous discussion, you guys have seen that we were having some commands which were showing on your terminal area once the playwright is like successfully configured. You remember, I hope, right? So this command which you can see right now in my this thing. Okay, so this is a command which is asking me to run this in the UI section. Okay, so what is the difference? Because see, you will have multiple ways to do the same thing guys. So if you consider hyphen UI, it will be more of like it will open the browser and it will kind of execute the scenarios guys. Okay, so if you write headed UI, so please remember guys, there are multiple ways to do the same thing. So when I'm writing hyphen UI guys, Playwright has got its own inspector, which is nothing but if you hover your mouse, this is called as the Playwright test. Okay, the framework which we have. And over here guys, whatever we are doing via let's say directly running, right? So you can click on this green color arrow, automatically all the tests which are present in the respective test folder guys, it will highlight over here, like it will kind of create the folder structure over here. Now it's your job how many test case you want to run. So automatically it will run and give a green color this thing tick whether the test is running fine or not. If you click on get started link, it will run the same and it will. So likewise guys, you can see that on the left hand side you will see the code, and on the right hand side you will see the browser which is kind of showing up. So this logic what you can see, right, this is called as the real time test case. Like at the same time the command are getting executed, and on the right hand side you will see what happened when your command is getting executed. So you guys can see that it is trying to highlight get started. So here you can see action before and after. So before you are on this page, once you have executed that particular command, you are moving to this page. So likewise, guys, you will have real time, you can say test case logic. Okay, that's the reason you will have the complete clarity, guys, at what time your page is getting open. So at the above section, you can see 100 millisecond, 200 milliseconds. So your browser or something got invoked at after half second. So at 600 second, your execution is kind of getting this thing. And at 1.1 a second, your execution got completely covered. So here, if you notice, guys, 896 millisecond, 867 millisecond, those are nothing but the timing, guys. Okay. When your code is getting executed, guys, you will be able to see the Chrome Dev tool sections as well, guys. So all this behavior right now, which you can see on my screen, guys, is the real-time behavior, guys. Okay. So likewise, you are able to kind of make a decision that after this particular command, which command is getting execute, how it is getting execute, what are the steps which has been written. Okay. So based on that, you can obviously like get the clarity like what all things has been executed. And please remember, guys, in all the test case, whenever I run in future, you will see something called as before hooks and after hook. So if you clearly understand this before hooks and after hooks, we have not defined anywhere so far in our framework. Okay. So whatever you can see is nothing but the Playwright default configuration, wherein it is trying to open the browser, it is opening the context, and it is opening the page. So can anybody explain me this three section before I move to the next step? What is this three section, guys? Browser, context, and page. Yes, anyone?
Before we start the test, we are initiating the browser and we are setting that page context.
Okay, perfect.
It's the initialization step, basically.
It is a prerequisite, or you can
Yeah,
consider before
right.
you start your test case, it is mandatory for me to open the browser, right? And if you
Mhm.
notice, we have not written any hook so far in our at the project level. So Playwright by default, what they do is, guys, in the test section, if you notice that await page dot go to. So as soon as this command is getting triggered, guys, by Playwright, what happens, guys? Automatically, Playwright has the logic, like first of all, the logic says that you need to invoke the browser at the very beginning. Okay. So what you should do, guys, first thing which happens in Playwright is you will see browser. Okay. So browser once got open, after that you need to create context. And after that, guys, you will create what, guys? Page. So page is created at the third level, guys. And if you're closing the context, the page is getting closed. Okay. So in the after hook, guys, you guys can see that the the page is getting closed. And after that, your context is also getting closed. Okay. Once you have done the complete this thing executions of your test case, you should close. If in future, if I'm executing again one browser, one context, one page. So this is something which goes on, goes on, guys. Okay, so every time. And in some traditional approach, you might see some word over here, let browser, let context, let page. So that approach also we will look into. So over there, we are not writing page.goto. Okay. So over there, we need to kind of first initialize the page. And once the page got initialized, guys, after that, we will write the command which you can see page.goto and other stuff. Okay. So that approach is also available where you are not directly navigating, like you are not triggering page.goto. Instead of that, you are first creating the instance of this all three variables. And after that, you are moving on. Okay. So guys, whatever I showed so far is nothing but the UI mode, the headed mode, but this is not the headed mode, I would say. This is the Playwright test mode, basically. Headed mode, what it will do, guys, it will execute the test directly without, let's say, the Playwright test or screen just now, which you were able to see, guys. Okay. Perfect. So now, guys, over here, as I told you that first we are going to kind of create a folder, guys. Okay, inside this test. Okay, the folder name will be JavaScript basics, because all the JS part, right, we will have inside this folder. And inside this folder, we will have one more folder, which is nothing but, let's say, you can consider Playwright UI automation. So all the UI related element, whatever, let's say, scenarios we are going to cover, right? It will go under Playwright UI automation. We will have one more folder, guys, inside test, which is called as Playwright API automation. So all the test case with respect to API will go under API automation. Okay. So I hope everyone has got the clarity. Anybody has any doubts, query, questions with respect to folder structure, please feel free to ask. Okay. And the next step which we have is, guys, when we are trying to configure, let's say when we are trying to understand the JS basics, let's say JavaScript basics, right? We need to have the file extension as .js, guys. Please remember. Okay. So I'm creating variable demo.js, guys. Okay, I hope everyone get understood. And if you notice the file name which is present over here, it is more of like example.spec.js. Altogether, it is a JS file, but the condition is, guys, that it is having something called a spec word. Okay. So please remember, guys, whenever we work in real time with the test cases in Playwright, because in Playwright we don't call it as a test case actually. Okay, all the files or all the logic in Playwright is called as a spec file. Instead of calling it as a test case, we call it as a spec file. Okay, if I say 5 specs file got executed, you can consider like 5 test cases which is relevant to respective modules is kind of getting executed, guys. Okay, that's how it is. And now we have created one file, guys, which is called as variable demo.js. So
Hi,
now
sir.
go ahead, please.
Sorry to interrupt you. You shared one test UI. So that is a debug file which you have shown, right? So how do we open that debug file, debug UI?
You need to trigger the command --ui, this one.
Okay.
So with this command, you will be able to see all the tests, okay, which are
Mhm.
present inside tests folder. Okay, it will not show this file, guys. Please remember. Sorry, test example file. Okay, it will show only the file. Now, if you try to trigger this command again, and if you will see the Playwright test inspector will get open. Okay, but it will not show this file which I created just now. Why? Because the extension is .js. Okay. So all the test case, guys, in future, whatever we will create or whatever we will have, and if you're running via Playwright, it is mandatory that you give the extension as .spec.js. Initially, whatever name you want, you can give it, guys. There is no such restriction. But at the end, okay, suffix, at the end, you need to make sure that it is .spec.js. Please remember that. Okay.
Yes, sir. And after all the test cases have been executed, so in the after hooks, the only page and context will get closed.
Correct.
And does a browser get closed, or do we need to mention it?
Browser automatically gets closed. We don't need to write any special command in the after hook. Okay.
Okay.
That is
Okay.
handled automatically once the context is getting closed actually.
Okay.
Okay.
That's yes. Thank you.
Perfect. Moving on, guys. JS part, very basics. I know it is very, very important from the like all like wherever you are having the JS part, right? Integration. So you should be aware about the variables which are supported by JavaScript. Okay. So guys, JavaScript is a language where you don't require uh, the data types such as integer, float, string, what we have in Java. Okay. So in JavaScript, we have only 3 major keywords which you need to have the clarity. Once you have got the clarity, automatically based on that, you will be having the clarity where to use them. Okay, as per our required scenario. Okay, so the major keyword, guys, you will see is let, where, and const. Okay, and once you like all the data type which we have, let's say string, boolean, integer, character, float, right? All the data type will be handled using all these three keywords. Okay, please remember there is some you can say comparison in all these three, out of which the third one is out of the box. So you can consider the first two, guys. First two are very, very important, because third one, by the name you can see that it is const. Const means once you have declared, right, you have no rights to update that particular variable. That's what const means basically. Okay, so once you have declared anything, you are not supposed to change that. That's what const is talking about. But when we say where, guys, okay, so let's talk about where first. So please remember, guys, whenever we have where data to be like where variable you have created, okay. So the first thing what you need to understand is it is having the scope as function scope. Okay, so please remember in JS we will obviously create a lot of functions. Okay, so whenever we create where, and the life of where variable will be within that particular function scope only. Okay, it can be you can say whenever you declare anything where, and the life of that where is within that function scope, and if you are out of that function, the where variable is no more valid, so you can redeclare, guys. You can redeclare again. Okay, and obviously you can update the value, guys, as per our requirement. Okay, so how to kind of use this where, let me kind of just give an example. So guys, I'm creating one function. Okay, so in JS, guys, whenever you want to create a function, you just need to write a keyword called as function word. Okay, and over here, like where demo, I'm creating the name as where demo, and then you need to give two round bracket. Okay, so I'm reiterating the syntax, guys. Function word is very, very important. After that, you need to give the name of the function. After that, two round bracket, and after that, please give the curly bracket. Okay, this is how the function name we are giving, guys. Clear, everyone? Understood, right, everyone? So this pair of curly bracket, okay, is called as the function scope. Okay, if a pair of curly bracket, okay, if I have written this, it is called as the what, guys? It is called as the function block, where m is equal to 200. So I have declared what m value, guys. What is the value of m? 200. Now, if you hover your mouse, guys, you will see that the data type is number, where str is equal to I am new to JavaScript. So if you hover your mouse, you will see string. I hope everyone are getting, guys, where bool is equal to true. So whenever you declare, guys, automatically JavaScript will give the knowledge to this particular variable that you have declared this of type Boolean. So your data type variable is similar, but automatically JS is identifying that it is a number, it is a string, it is a Boolean logic. Okay. So this is how we declare the variables in JS part. Okay. So over here, I'm creating one logic, guys. If true, okay, inside this, I'm saying that where m is equal to 500, 400. So now my question is, guys, try to understand. Here we have written where m is equal to 200. Again, we are writing where m is equal to 400. So you can see that m is already declared, right? And over here, I'm using the same variable. So let me kind of just give you a little bit background on this. So I'm saying console.log. Over here, I'm saying m. Okay. Over here, again, I'm saying console.log. So there are three location where I'm writing console.log m. Okay, understood, right, everyone? So we have created this function, guys. Now how to call this function is very straightforward. You just need to call this. That's it. This is called as, guys, in Java or in any PL, in any programming language, right? This particular section is called as the function definition, like method definitions. You have defined your method. Now it's time for me to call that. Okay, so you just need to trigger this. Clear, everyone? Understood, right? Anybody has any doubt, query, questions? Function name, two round bracket and curly bracket. After that, we have just written variables and one if condition, guys. Very simple. This if else for loop, guys, it is more or less similar, but still, like right now what I'm doing is I'm having one condition, let's say true, because I want this particular line to be get executed for sure. That's the reason I have mentioned over here as true. And after that, I'm trying to print the value of m, guys. Okay. So guys, anybody has idea how to execute this .js file? This is not a Playwright file, guys. Okay. Don't consider this as a Playwright file. Anyone?
Node variable demo.js.
Sorry, come again.
Node variable demo.js.
Okay, node is correct, but you need to give the complete path. Okay, so
Okay.
node and complete path, and automatically you will see that 200, which is at this point. Okay, we are getting 400, which is at this point. We are getting 400 again, which is at this point. So you can see that the variable got, guys, update, guys. Okay, you have redeclared, and if you copy this line and put it over here, okay, till this line, like till line number 24, you will see that the value will remain same. But as soon as line number 25 got executed, right, it will get updated, guys. Understood, everyone? Any questions, any doubt, any query? Okay, one more thing I would like to highlight, guys. Now, over here, I am writing one more condition. So this is control X. I'm moving over here and I'm saying console.log and I'm saying bool. Understood, right, everyone? Now, can anybody tell me output? Will it work? So everyone can see we are able to kind of get the value which is written over here. Okay, because please remember, guys, the variable has got the life is in the function block. Okay, now if I copy this and after this line I will try to have it. Okay, now if I run this, you will see some error. Bool is not defined. Getting my point, everyone? So over here, the life of bool has been expired after line number 34. Okay. Everyone understood now? Now on line number 35, it has got life. And again, we are trying to display in the console area. Any questions, any doubt? What is where? What is the purpose of where? Why we are declaring it? Guys, in real time, please remember, whenever we have a situations of validating the expected value with actual value, or let's say store the variable, or let's say have some temporary variable to be created inside the functions, and every time, guys, we can use the concept of where keyword. Please remember this. Okay, if
I
you
have a
want to check
question.
global level, yeah, go ahead, please.
Scoping of variables seems to be a little bit different here, right? Like at line number 16, we said variable m is equals to 200. Now it is understood within that block, which
Correct.
starts at 15, its value will be 200 unless we change change the value of m somewhere. But at line number 22 is the new block starts, right? Now there, the m at 24 will be within the block of this 22 to 28. Means I'm comparing that with respect to Java. Now
Yeah,
in Java, blocks define the life of the variable, right? But here
correct.
it doesn't seem so, because line number 29 is still printing 400 instead of 200.
So
So
that's
how is the memory allocation looks like for 24 and 16? It
so
seems to be yeah,
if you notice carefully on line number 16, you are correct that we have declared this. Okay. And on line number 24, we are redeclaring.
correct.
Getting my point? So
Redeclaring, but again, it's a redeclaration, correct, which means a separate memory allocation altogether, right?
separate memory allocation. That's correct.
Correct, correct, yeah.
And JS is not throwing any compile time error. Okay, please remember, whenever you have multiple variables to be declared again and again. Okay, so if I write where m is equal to 300, okay, so this is something wherein you are assigning, or you can say you are updating the same variable. So now if I run this logic, right, it will not throw me an error. Why? Because JS is saying that it is allowed to redeclare, reinitialize again and again as per your, you can say. But as soon as we change this data type to const word, correct? Like once we have the const, correct? After that, it will obviously throw the error over here. Okay, it will not allow me to kind of move to the next line. I mean, it will not allow me to execute the code. But with the where logic, right? That's what I mentioned over here. Function scope, and it can be redeclared as much as you want. Here, if I write instead of removing this, and if I say m is equal to 300, that is also fine, guys. There is no worry on that, because it will consider this particular variable only. Okay. And if you hover your mouse, this is already saying that it is a local variable, and you can reiterate or reinitialize almost like as number of time you want. Okay, there is no restriction actually.
It's allowing redeclaration. At the
Yes,
same time, what I'm noticing is whatever be the newest redeclaration done, its value is being
considered
considered.
as a value.
It means if you look at memory allocation actually in the system, it is pointing to the same location always in that case, right? Otherwise,
It's pointing to same location. Only the thing which is getting updated is the value. Okay, memory allocation will remain same. Even if
that
I
will
have written over
that
here, right?
that that will not be the case with Java actually.
Java, obviously the life will get expired within the block. Okay. And once
Okay.
you move outside, again a new memory, new variable declaration is required, because obviously once the variable is we have the if logic or for loop logic, right? The if you
In,
remember, like in for
a-
loop is int I is equal to. So the I
any specific reason of defining the nature of variable scope like this, especially in
JS,
Playwright?
yeah,
Okay.
because in Playwright or in JS, because this is something which is being used by other tools as well. The reason is with the latest ES6, which is the module for JS part, right? For obviously flexibility part, they have had this particular data type. And with this logic, you will be able, because in this, guys, please remember, whatever we write is within the particular test area, is within the describe block only. Okay. So the life of those variable will be within that particular describe or test, which I will be going to show you. Okay, you are not supposed to go outside describe, nor outside test logic as well. Okay, and the same thing happens with the let keyword as well, guys. Okay, so I'll show you the let keyword also in same thing, but let has some different nature with respect to reinitialize, because I know, like, where you can consider in terms of security, obviously there is no security, because whatever we have declared at 16, you can update it and all those things. But when it comes to let, guys, okay, please remember, let has got the concept what you are looking for. It is having the concept of block scope. Okay, so where is almost like you can consider, you can use it anytime as much number of time you want. But when it comes to let, okay, please remember, you will be having the issue with redeclare. Okay, you will not be able to redeclare again and again. What? Let keyword. Okay, so I'm creating one more function, let demo. Okay, and over here, if you declare anything, let m is equal to 300. Now, if you hover your mouse, guys, again, same process, guys, please remember. And here I will say if true. And over here, let's say if I say let m is equal to, I'm using same variable, guys. Don't get confused. Okay, let me change this to n so that it's clear. Okay. And now here I'm writing console.log n, and I'll copy the same line over here as well. And I'll copy the same line over here as well. Okay. And let demo.
To define Boolean to true.
Yes, let me do that as well. And I'll keep as it is. And over here, what I will do, console.log, just to kind of let logic, so that I know like we will have the same program. So you can see that 300, okay, which is over here. After that, 500. So this 500 got expired within this block, guys. Okay. And the last line is console.log n, which is again 300. Getting my point, everyone?
Yeah.
So the life of let is within the block. When I say block, a pair of curly bracket.
Yeah.
Whereas
Variable
if
is global.
it will be 300 will
Global.
show here also.
Mm-hmm.
True will be shown here also. Here also. Okay.
So can we declare it and then initialize it in the later
Yes, you can.
for let
Obviously.
and var?
Yes, 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 absolutely. Let n.
Var.
Yeah, same. Everything you can reinitialize, or you can keep this empty for some time whenever it is required. That's what we do, right? We create a variable, and in the block or in the, you can say wherever it is required, we will use m is equal to so and so, so that all the other methods can use it. Okay. So you can consider, let's say this is like over here in the code part when I say, so as soon as you write import, right, over here you will declare it. Now, once you have declared over here, right, all the test can use it, right? That's what our requirement will be. But if you think, no, this particular variable is specific to this test, then we will declare inside this curly bracket there. Okay. So please remember, the scope can be obviously altered based on our requirement, and accordingly we will modify the variable declaration, because obviously you will get the issue of this keyword and everything in the coming session, guys. Okay, just a second. I can see someone. Okay. So Sangeeta has asked something. I'll just answer once we are done with the session. Okay. Perfect. Just a quick thing. I hope everyone has got the clarity on this let and where keyword, guys. There are only 3 keyword you need to remember, guys. Okay. And at the very beginning, like obviously there is a common interview question saying that, hey, what is a major difference between let, where, and const? Okay. So the only major difference is function block. You can consider like block scope, you can consider, let's say, function scope, and the last one, guys, which is const, guys. Okay. Const is also having the concept of block scope. Okay. Like once you have declared this const over here, you will not be able to use that particular variable after the block is completed. Okay. So let me quickly talk about that also. Const. it is also having the concept of guys block scope. Okay, so function. And guys, don't get confused. The way I'm creating function is the only way in JS. No. Okay. You will see a lot of other ways to create the function in JS. Okay. Please remember that. Okay. Const pi is equal to 3.14. Okay. So I hope you guys can see that now. If I hover my mouse pi, you can see the value is this thing. And now if I say pi is equal to 4, right? And if I try to execute this code, right, at the same time, I will get an error. Obviously, you are not allowed to modify the const. Once you have declared it, right, you will get an error saying that const variable is not allowed to. Okay. Reassign is not possible, guys. Please remember. Okay. And the scope of this particular variable is within the block. Whenever we write, right, it is within the block. Please remember. So now if I declare, let's say if true, and if I say pi is equal to 4, it is not allowed, guys. Okay. Again, you need to create const. Okay. Now, anybody can tell me whether this is valid or invalid. I have used the same variable name, guys.
Block scope, right? So it's valid.
It's valid.
Valid, right? Why valid? Because the life of this pi is only this block. But this pi has the validity within this particular pair of curly bracket, guys. Okay. So guys, please remember whenever we work in real time, right? Please remember if you see that particular variable is obviously within a pair of curly bracket, and if you have declared const and you are trying to have it outside, you will not be able to. Okay. Make sure it is declared at that level where you are trying to access it. Okay. And guys, one more thing I would like to highlight. If I copy this statement, if I put it over here, okay, just let me know if you guys understand. So now if I remove this, what do you think? Will I get the output?
Yes.
No,
Oh,
because
yes,
it
or
is declared.
it is declared, right? It is at the code level only. You can consider at the global level only. Line number 58, I know that it is not part of any
Yes.
block or any function block or any local this thing, but still you guys will be able to, because this variable, please remember, is kind of considered as a global type of variable. It is not coming in the block, it is not coming in any this thing, but as soon as you kind of have the pair of curly bracket above and below this, okay, sometime, okay, like this. So now the life of this pi is obviously you can consider within this block, right? And now try to understand. I have saved this file. Now if you notice, we are getting an error. Why? Because the block is closed and you are trying to access this variable. Okay. So if you remove this block, you will be able to. If you have if you keep this block, you will not be able to. Please remember. Okay. In real time also, when we will work in this playwright scenarios, right? Okay. Please remember, whenever you have a pair of curly bracket, you need to kind of do some adjustment with respect to variable, guys. Okay. And const, guys, once declared, you are not supposed to update it. That's for sure. Okay. So at a broad level, like just at a high level, to kind of just kind of do a difference, guys, you can consider like function scope, you can consider block scope, you can consider a block scope. Okay. Over here, you will be having the logic of updating the variable. Okay, can be redeclared again. But in let and block, in let and const, guys, you will not have the logic of redeclare, guys. If you want to redeclare, you need to have that in same block only. Okay, so and that too, guys, redeclare of const is impossible. Like we will not be able to. For let, you can do it. Okay, so when I say let, guys, over here n is equal to 299. I'm updating the variable. That is allowed, guys, not a problem. But that is within the block only. Okay, within the block it is allowed. If you go outside the block, you will not be able to get 219. I mean, obviously you will not get that output, because here n value is 300 only, because it is
Uh,
at function
you
level.
you mean like outside if block we are not able to get, right?
Yes, in case of let.
Let. Okay.
So here, whatever you declare, right now, I know that I have used the same variable name, but in future, if you have any other variable name, you will not be able to access outside this particular pair of curly bracket. Please remember that. Okay.
So,
So
yeah,
yeah,
if we want to access the variable in other files like globally, so how we can do that by creating object or
yes,
like
that's the
that or okay.
we will talk about this thing, page object logic, right? In that case, you will have the clarity on how we can use the variable. Because ideally, what happens in
Okay.
real-time scenario is every file, the people try to create its own variable. They don't this thing. They don't try to refer on so and so. Unless and until, guys, what happens if you have a locator class or something, right, which has been created, so that we directly import it into our test case. So that obviously I will not rewrite again and again, right? For those
Yeah,
located,
generic things.
yes,
Yes.
generic thing will remain as it is. So in every test case, you need to import that for sure, because you are not pretty much confident like which variable is being used. So that will be a one single file where you will have, let's say, 1,000 locator. Okay. And those needs to
Yes.
be imported in all the test case. Okay. For sure.
Yeah. Yes.
Perfect. So guys, just to kind of a quick recap, today we have started our discussion on like the folder structure part. Okay. What all folders we have right now and what is the importance of test folder. And this test folder is, guys, has been defined over here. In future, if you change this, obviously that particular folder will get the importance. Right now, if I make this as test example also, and if I try to run npx playwright test, automatically the test will be picked up from the folder called as test underscore example. Please remember this. Okay. Sorry, test hyphen example. So this is very, very important, guys. Okay. And based on this only, we will be able to run our logic. Okay. And over here, you can define the number of browsers and everything. And after that, we have spoken about .git ignore, and then we have created 3 folders for our coming sessions. For now, I'll be focusing on JS basics. We will obviously move to some advanced topics of JavaScript. So today we have, let's say, had the discussion on the variables, which are, let's say, supported by JS and TS actually. Okay, both language supports this variables only. And we have created functions, the syntax of functions, how we are creating. Guys, I'm repeating again, this is not the only way we are creating function in JS. We will see some more ways of creating functions, which will be in the coming session. After that, we have seen for let, and then we have seen for the constant keyword, like constant this thing. Okay. And now coming back to some of the queries, I know like we had just at high level. So first is, in a real time for register and login, do we create a separate folder and add test in positive and negative? The answer is, guys, depending on ideally, yes, you should. For a register, you will create a separate folder. Or if you think that your application is small for registration process, then you will be creating directly file, guys. But if you think, let's say under register, I will have, let's say 15 test case or 16 test case, you can think of that. If you think that you will have multiple combinations or something, then it is possible that you can create a folder. But if you think, no, I can have that all scenarios or all test cases, whatever is in your mind in a single file, then I would suggest not to create a folder, directly create register test.spec.js. Okay. And same is the case with login.spec.js. In the config.js, what other than existing needs to add? We will be talking about that in the coming session. How we are adding the base URL, how we are adding the environment detail, how we are adding the some env files, how we are adding the username password for all configuration part. And we will see the load time, we will see the timeout logic, everything will be part of config. So in the coming session, we will talk about that as well, how we can update the existing configuration value, which is set by default by Playwright. So all this will happen in the config file. Please remember that. Okay. And the next is there a way to open without using hyphen debug? I think I have shown you using hyphen UI, I believe. Yeah, hyphen debug is there, and I will be going to showcase one more logic in the coming session through which you can have your all the script ready, because right now I am talking a little bit on JS part. So in tomorrow's session, I'll initially try to speak about how you can open the Playwright inspector and try to record the test case and have my code generated automatically. Okay, so we will talk about code gen and other stuff as well in the tomorrow's discussion. Perfect. Anybody has anything to add, guys? I believe I answered all the questions. Yes.
Yeah, when I try to execute the console.log, it's not printing for me anything, whatever I am giving here.
Mm, mm, mm. What error it is throwing?
It's not throwing any error. I'm not seeing any console.log statements. So is there any setting I need to do?
Really,
I'll share my screen.
go ahead, please. Go
So
ahead.
this is what I'm doing.
And
I just
yeah, go ahead.
did only the initial part where we talked about the var. This is the function, and I declared var m equal to 200 console str bool and
The
then val m.
file
The
name.
file
Okay.
is not saved.
Yeah, file is not saved.
Oh,
Just
okay.
that you can see why the
Automatic save is not there. Okay. Probably that's the one.
yeah, upward
Okay.
arrow.
Okay. How did you know a file is not saved?
There is a white
White,
dot you will see
white
at
dot.
Oh, okay. I didn't observe that. Okay, thank you.
okay. Okay, so guys, anything to add, please feel free to ask your doubts, queries before we end the session. Anything you want to highlight? Go ahead, please.
I missed out the first class. I think setup and all. Is recording available for that?
Yeah. So today's recording as well will get added to that particular playlist,
Okay.
mostly within 2 hours or 3 hours.
Okay.
You will get the details.
Thank you.
Okay. Along
For
with
the
this,
further class also, yeah, sorry.
go ahead, please.
For the further classes also, we will be getting the link in the same group.
Yeah. So one thing actually I know, like some of I was getting a query regarding class notes and what all notes I will be sharing, right? I know that it's a common query. So please remember, once we are fully, let's say, getting ready with this course part, right? We will be having one private Git link, okay, where all the code will be getting pushed every day along with the README doc as well. Right now, I know that I have not created a README documentation because for all theoretical topics, right? I will have one README documentations where locally whatever we are practicing, right? It will be local to me, and at the end of the session, it will get pushed to that particular repository. Okay, where that link I'll be sharing soon. And second thing is I'll be sharing the manual testing content notes. Okay, I know I will not be talking about that, but you need to go through those notes and everything. If you got any queries, doubts, question, feel free to ask. That is not related with automation, guys. It's just an extra part which I'll be sharing. Okay. And then on daily basis, we will have an assignment activity. So that activity also we will be getting started soon once we are kind of fully starting with our this thing. Okay. And yeah, recording will be available, and the link you will get detail over the group only, WhatsApp group you correctly mentioned. Any more queries, anyone?
Okay, thank you.
Mm, perfect. So I believe we are good.
Sorry
Yep.
for just one question.
Go ahead, please.
While we are learning these exercises, meanwhile, can we also pick one website wherein I think in a real time, how do we build a framework? Maybe better to start in that fashion, right? Even our exercises,
So
which
that's
will be like
actually
end of
we
by
had
end of
this.
the session. Sorry, go ahead.
I know that I had this in the past actually, wherein I had a few batches with respect to this logic, but um, the feedback was like some of you will have the JS basics knowledge already, right? But some of you will have very hard to understand all the JS concept. So that's the reason, like right now, I like
Maybe
decided to.
once we cover all the basics of JavaScript,
Yeah, obviously,
probably
we
from there onwards we can start, right? Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what the
Okay.
plan is.
Sure, sure. That helps.
Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
his
So
meaning
you would be
like his meaning is like just take one project like and start from like
That's
starting
what
from and till the end actually on that
Yeah,
same project.
the reason is like people will understand
we are
how to
Hmm.
complete.
organize the test cases and how
Mhm.
to build a framework. That will be like a real time sort of experience will be there.
Yes,
Mhm.
that
Yeah,
exercise will get started soon. Don't worry on
yeah,
that.
sure. Okay.
Yes, we are going to cover all the framework related topics, all the utility and every like whatever is happened in real time. Okay, in the real project, we will
Yeah,
have that experience exposure for UI as well as API.
thank you.
Okay, I think we are good, guys. Thank you so much, everyone. We'll meet tomorrow at same time, guys. And please feel free to ask your doubts with respect to installation setup. If you are facing issue with, let's say, not able to run or facing any
sir.
policy,
Right now, I am facing the issue, sir. Uh,
policy issue or
in the
something,
earlier class, I have shared the query in chat section, sir.
just a second. You are talking about I have some problem, right? Yeah, yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Let me stop the recording. Okay.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
And